All right, so, all right, everybody. I know everybody's excited for this review, but let's settle down. Zach, let's face front, please. Mia, stop talking to him. All right, here we go. So there's 10 questions on the quiz. The first two, kind of broke them up into twos. All right, so the first two, numbers 1 and 2, it's those kind where they give you a system of equations. They give you two equations with x and y in it, and they give you a point. And you have to put that point in to see if it works for both of those equations. Remember doing that? For instance, I'm looking at page 110 from section 3.1. You want to pick one of those? I'll let you pick. 1 to 4. Which one do you want me to do? I'll do one of them. Number 3.
I'll pick what?
110. All right, so here's what they do. They give you a point. This is really just substitution is all this is. All right, so there's not much to this one. So this is number 3 on the homework. So it's 4x plus 2y equals 6. And then y equals negative 2x plus 3. All right, so what are they asking you to do? It says determine whether the given ordered pair is a solution. That's what the problem says to do. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is negative 2, 7 a solution? What do you do with it? How do you know? You plug it in. That's it. Plug it in. So this obviously is the x. This one is the y. And you just plug it in. Plug it into which one? Into both of them. You got to plug it into both of them to see if that x and y works for both equations. It's simple substitution. So let's do it. So what is it? 4 times what? X, which is negative 2, plus 2 times y, which is 7. And I'm going to put a question mark. I'm not sure if they equal each other just yet. Okay, I got to do the math and see if they actually equal each other. So what is this? Negative 8 plus 14. Does that equal 6? Yes, it does. So I'm going to go finish it off. So 6 equals 6. I like to put a little check mark. You don't have to. Let's pay attention, please. Okay, I'll just quit the review right now. Okay, if you're not going to pay attention, you're going to fool around, then I'll just quit the review. And we'll go on to the next lesson. I'm perfectly fine with that. Because I don't want this to be a waste of time. And I have a feeling for some of you this is a waste of time because you're not paying attention. All right, so am I done? Can I say that this is a solution to both of these? Not, because I didn't do it to the other one, right? So let's do it to the other one. So let's put it in here. What is the y? It's 7. And let's see. I'm going to put a question mark because I don't know if they're equal. Negative 2 times x, which is also negative 2, right? Because this x is negative 2, plus 3. And let's do the work and see. So 7 equals, that's 4, positive 4 plus 3. Yep, 7 equals 7. That works. So it works for both of them. So what can we say? The question is, tell whether the given ordered pair is a solution. So is this a solution to this ordered pair? Yes. So that's what I write. I write yes. And circle it. But you got to show me why. You can't just guess and say yes or no and then move on to the next one. All right? Even if you guess correctly, all right, I got to see why. All right? So I have to see that when you plug this ordered pair into both equations, you get an equality, right? You get something equal to something else. All right? So that's 1 and 2. So it'll be 2 of those. All right. Now, I know I said when I first assigned this, the question says, I'm sorry, that's the next thing. Forget what I was about to say. I really didn't say much anyway. So this one is solve graphically. Solve graphically. So they give you a system of equations again, all right? 2 equations with x and y in both of them, and you have to solve for x and y, but you got to do it specifically by what? By graphing it, okay? So let's grab a graph over here. So that would be numbers like 17 to 23. So I'll let you choose one. And we'll do that one. There's going to be two of them. It's numbers 3 and 4. But I'm only going to do one of them. So you can pick. Page 110, 17 to 23. Actually, 8 to 23. You can pick any of them from 8 to 23. Okay, I picked two of those. I specifically picked two problems that are exactly from 8 to 23. All right, so you got a big choice there, but pick one. 12? All right.
13.
Nope. She said 12 before you said it. Simone did. Gave you a chance. All right, this is number 12, 4x plus y, 4x plus y equals -7. All right, here we go. So we have to graph both of these. Well, the first one's already set up perfectly for you to graph, so let's just do that one right now. So y equals 3x plus 7. Do I have 7? I think I have 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So the y-intercept is 7. It's just simple graphing. This should be like second nature to you at this point. The slope is 3. Am I going to go up 3 and then to the right 1? Nah, because I don't have enough room up here. So what's a better way to do it? Go what? Go down 3 and then what? To the left 1. All right, let's do it a few times. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 1. That should be good enough. All right, and then we go, whoops, connect from there to there. Let's scooch this back a little bit. And let's make it go all the way to there. All right, so there's a good graph right there. That's that graph. So now I have to graph this. How do I graph that? Well, I'm going to do one thing first before I graph it. What's that? Yeah, put it slope-intercept form. So get y by itself. So move the 4x over here, which I would do that by subtracting a 4x. And that just stays right there. So now, let's do this in a different color. Go Christmas colors. Okay, this one, it's -7 is the y-intercept. So we come down here to -7 right there. And then the slope is -4. So again, I'm not going to go down and to the right. I'm going to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And to the left, 1. That's a negative slope, isn't it? Watch, do it again, especially, and I do put little graphs on the quiz, so you can graph it right on there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, bam, right there. I see it already, don't you? Okay, really, technically, you wouldn't even have to graph the rest of it. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's good enough. And then let's connect. Oops, why do I keep doing that? All right, and you see where it intersects already. But I'm just going to make it look a little bit nicer just by extending it all the way up there like that. Okay? All right, so how do we find the solution? How do we find what x and y is equal to? Well, we find out where they intersect each other. So where is that point of intersection? It's -2, 1, and that's it. So your answer is -2, 1. All right, but I got to see the graph, and I have to see that they intersect at the point where you tell me they're supposed to intersect. Everybody got that? So I got to see both graphs. All right, there's two of those. 3 and 4 on the quiz are that style, okay? Make sense? Yeah, pretty easy so far. Okay, now we really get into the bulk of it. The rest of it's going to be kind of the same. So what's that, 5 or 6? Now, this is what I was going to say earlier, and I kind of stopped myself. When I assign these, and that was all section 3.1 right there. The next section is 3.2. So let me flip over to those. So I'm looking at page 115. I'm looking at like 7 to 10. All right, let's pick one of those. Now, it says solve by substitution. Remember when I assigned it? I had a couple people ask, do you have to do it the way they tell you to do it? I'm like, no, you can do it however you want to do it. But on the quiz, I am specifically saying you have to do it by substitution, okay? So I changed my mind a little bit. So on the quiz, there will be problems that say, 2 problems, numbers 5 and 6, and it says solve by what? Substitution. Okay? Now, I'll tell you the truth. That's the best way to solve for it anyway, all right? So it's, it's not like, oh man, I gotta, I'd rather do it a different way, but he told me to do it this way. Substitution. There we go. All right? So substitution on 5 and 6 are definitely the best way to solve these, okay? So it just kind of makes it easy for you. I'll let you pick. 7 to 10. 9. Okay. So x plus y equals negative 6. And then 2x plus 3y equals negative 20. All right, so it says do it by substitution. So you're not going to use elimination, you're going to use substitution. So what I would do is I would either solve for x equals something or y equals something. Which one would you rather solve for? Really doesn't make any difference. Solve for y, is that what you said? Okay, which y? This y right here? Yeah, definitely this one right here. Okay, if you want to get y by itself, excuse me. If you want to get y by itself, I would definitely solve for that y. You could solve for this y, but it would be a lot uglier. It'd be a huge pain. It would still work if you did it right, but that's a lot easier solving for this y. So let's get y by itself. So we get the x, put it on the other side. What do we do to get rid of it? We subtract an x from both sides. All right? So that's not really the substitution yet. We just kind of set ourselves up a little bit to do it. So now what we're going to do, since we know what y is this. This is where we do the substitution. So you're going to take that value that's equal to y, and where are you going to put it? Right there in for that y. All right, so all we're going to do is rewrite that second equation, but instead of saying 3y, 3 times y, it's going to be what? 3 times negative x minus 6. So let's do it. So the 2x stays the same, plus 3 times y. Well, we kind of know what y is equal to, don't we? Negative x minus 6. So we replace this y with a negative x minus 6. That's our substitution. Equals negative 20. And now you just do some math and you just solve for x. So it's 2x, what's that? Minus 3x minus 18 equals negative 20. Add like terms, I get a negative x. Add an 18 to both sides, I get what? Negative 2. Divide by negative 1, x is 2. Did I do that right? Went kind of quick, but I think that's right. Which one are we doing? 9. Yep, that's right. And now we just have to solve for y. So I got my x, now I got to solve for y. Now I could put it back into here. I could put it into here if I wanted to, or that x right here or here. I would probably just put it into this, wouldn't you? You could put it in for this x right here, but I think it might be a little easier putting it into that. So let's do it. So it's what? 2 plus y equals negative 6. And now we can solve for y. Subtract 2 from both sides, and that gives me negative 8. Do I write my answer x equals 2, y equals negative 8? No, because what am I doing? I'm solving a system of equations. We just did it in the last problem. What does that mean? It's where it intersects, correct? So how am I going to write my answer, Hunter? You said it? Ordered pairs. So I put the x first, 2, comma, negative 8. So this is how you should write it. Okay, write it as an ordered pair. Because that means something. It means it's the point of intersection of those two lines, correct? And that's how you would do something like that. All right, that's 5 and 6. That's substitution. What do you think is next? Yep. And if you flip the page, they give you some problems on elimination. Somebody tell me which one they want to do. 14. Kiddoke. Well, you're just picking the end one, the last one, because you think it's the hardest one. That's what I'm going to put on there. You may be correct. I don't know.
I don't see that.
Huh? You don't see what?
We're number 14 on page 110.
No, I'm on section 3 too.
So, 116.
It's page 116. I said earlier the other one was on 115. And then I said flip the page. All right, what are we doing? 7 and 8, right? So this is 7 and 8 on the quiz. So it's 7 and 8. Oops, almost wrote my 8 right there. It's 7 and 8 on the quiz, but the one we're doing from the book is number 14. All right? Because it's going to look something like this. It could be exactly that. I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. I got the quiz right in front of me, so I do know. I've actually made up the quiz before the night before. That's pretty good. I did it this afternoon, or this morning. Did it during my free period. I did it during my planning period. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I made up the quiz already. All right. Now, this says solve by elimination. I didn't write that down. You can write that down if you want. Elimination. So what are you going to do? You're going to eliminate the x's or the y's? Yeah, I would do the x's, because if you eliminated the y's, I mean, it's kind of nice because you already got a plus and a minus, but you would have to change the top one and you'd have to change the bottom one. But on this one, if I get rid of the x's, what do I have to change? Just the bottom one, right? Okay, and what would I do to this so that they eliminate? Multiply it by what? -2. All right. Now, you could multiply by 2 and then subtract them, but I like to just do the same thing over and over again. I like to always add the columns, okay? So I always like to have a positive and a negative. All right, everybody with me? All right, so let's just rewrite this. I didn't do anything to the top, so I'm going to leave that the same. And now I multiplied everything by -2, so let's do that. What's this going to be? -4x. What's that? Plus 10y. And this, -50. Okay? So do you understand why I multiplied everything by -2? So that my x's will cancel out. So I wanted to make that 2x into a -4x, and I did that by multiplying by -2. What did I do to one side? I have to do the other side. All right, let's do that. These eliminate. That's your elimination right there, okay? Technically, elimination is actually only half elimination. The other half is what? Substitution, because you're putting something back in. So the first half, anyway, is elimination. So what do we get here? 13y equals -39. Is that right? Divide both sides by 13, -3. Yeah? Okay. And now we got to solve for x. Doesn't matter which equation you put it back into. You can put it either into this one or this one. First one, yeah, probably, because 11's smaller. Either one, it'll work out. I don't think one's really any easier than the other, but I probably, if I was to do this problem, would put it back into this. So what do I get? 4x plus 3 times y, which is -3, equals 11. So 4x, let's do this in our head. This is going to be -9. How do I get rid of that -9? I add a 9, so that's equal to what? 20. Divide by 4, x is 5. Put it all together, write it as an ordered pair, 5, -3. And there you go. Elimination. We good? All right, got 2 more. So 2 more. The last 2, 9 and 10, are kind of the same thing as what you've been doing. It's really not much different. You just choose which way you want to do it, okay? So however you want to solve for x and y, it's up to you. And I think I picked from 18 to 30. Now, remember we did that dependent, consistent, and independent and all that stuff? Don't worry about that. Just solve for x and y. It's all I'm going to ask you to do. So you don't have to tell me if they're... And I believe I only picked problems where you got an answer. You got one single answer for x and y. Everybody hear me? There's talking? So I just picked problems where you get a single answer. So none of them are going to be, no, what do you call it? What was that one? Yeah, no solution. Right, that's what I was thinking of. Okay, so none of them are going to be no solution. None of them are going to be all the real numbers, okay? It's just going to be just one ordered pair, all right? Every single one of them. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know how to do this, I'm just going to put no solution, just maybe I'll get lucky. No, you're not going to have any no solution. So don't put no solution because it's not going to be an answer. I promise. Okay? All right, let's pick one from 18 to 30. And I'll tell you if it actually, because some of these are no solutions and some of them are all the real numbers, okay? So if you pick one that's not, okay, 22, I'll do that one. That does come out to an ordered pair, to one ordered pair. So what is it? 8x minus 6y. So I'm doing number 22 from the book. And then 4x plus 12y. And again, you could use any method you want to solve for this, equals 11. Yeah, it's definitely set up for you to do elimination, isn't it? So what do you want to do? What do you want to get rid of? Get rid of everything? You're not going to get rid of everything. Get rid of the x? All right, so what are you going to have to do if you want to get rid of the x's? Yeah, multiply the bottom by -2. Same step as we did on the last problem. No. Right. If it was me, I probably would multiply the top by 2 just because you already got a minus, a plus, and a minus. But it really, to tell you the truth, it doesn't really make any difference. So let's do it. You said you want to do it this way. We'll do it this way. Okay? All right, let's go a little faster since we've already done this before. So 8x minus 6y equals -3. And this is going to be negative 8x. This is going to be what? Minus 24y. And this is going to be minus 22. All right, the x's eliminate. What's this become? Negative 30y. And this is negative 25. This doesn't come out very pretty, but that's okay. It can come out to a fraction. All right. And what do we do? Do we leave it like that? No. What do you got to do? Reduce the fraction, simplify it, right? So what goes into both of those? 5 does. It's going to be positive, by the way, right? Because negative over negative. So 5 goes into that 5 times. 5 goes into that 6 times. So that's my y. I didn't say they all came out to be integer answers. I never said that. I said you're going to get a point. You're going to get 1 point. I never said you couldn't get fractions. You could. On the quiz, sure. Yeah. These are still numbers. These are still numbers. Oh, no, you're going to have at least one that's got fractions in it. Okay, so this is a good one to pick. We got to solve for x now, correct? So because we got y, so which one do you want to put it into? Top one? All right, let's do that. So it's 8 times x, 8x, minus, yeah, it's got a 6. This works out so easy, all right? They make it look like it's going to be difficult because they give you a fraction. But really, look, they put a 6 there. What's going to happen? Right, so they made it super easy for you. So minus 6 times, I'll just put a dot here instead of a parentheses, since that's a fraction. And if you wanted to put that over 1, you could do that. See how easy it works out? All right, so nothing to be afraid of when it comes to fractions, at least on this problem, okay? Did I do everything? Yep, 8x minus 6y, right? Put it in here, equals -3. This cancels, so I've got 8x minus what? 5 equals -3. Add a 5 to both sides, so 8x equals 2. Divide both sides by 8. What's x? 1/4. How do I write my answer? As an ordered pair, so it's 1/4, comma, 5/6. This is how you need to write your answer. Okay? Don't leave it 25/30. Don't leave it 2/8. All right? Always reduce the fractions. Put the x first, then the y second, ordered pair, you're good to go. Let me check. Yep, that is the answer they give you. Yep. It's just the way they're made. All right, that's the quiz right there. Super easy, would you agree? Should be super easy. So I expect many, many hundreds tomorrow. All right.